to. So I'll give you a little bit of a frame up of that in just 1 second. But before I do that, I want to invite the Archive Social team forward. If you guys would all join me up front here. So I think half the room just came forward, which is part of why I wanted to start HelpFest with this. So y'all, we have a big moment to celebrate today. Archive Social is outgrowing the underground. It's sad, but also good. And are staying in downtown Durham. They're going to be moving over just above Rue Claire in about 2 weeks.
Today's Saturday.
Saturday. And so we felt like, given that Archive Social has been such a big part of the underground, Anil and I have worked together actually in this building on a different startup he was doing 5 years ago. And then seeing him launch Archive Social when it was just him, then it was one other employee, all the way through to this. We felt like it was only appropriate that you got this award. This is a trophy that everybody should aspire to. This is a makeup award that we have called the Order of the Bull. And you're the second recipient of this. I will not tell you who the first is. You have to track them down. But what we wanted to do was give this award out to startups and people in our community who have made a really deep impact on the entrepreneurial space. I can't think of anybody else that I want to give it to more than the Archive Social team. On it, it says Archive Social for making social media archiving sexy. So, y'all, if you get a chance over the next few days, you know their office, front corner of the building on the second floor. Say, hey, they're not going to be strangers. We've worked out an alumni membership for the Archive Social team to continue to be a part of the AU community. So, congratulations to you guys. Thank you all.
Thank you speech, right? I want to take just a moment to send some love right back to the AU. And when I was thinking about this like last week that we were actually moving out here, I honestly got a little bit emotional. And then I realized that we're going to be 4 blocks down the street, and that the magnetism of Dame's Chicken and Waffles and Adam Klein's finely combed hair will keep bringing us back. So we will keep coming back to intermingle with all of you. But what I wanted to say is I recognize that it's been deeply important to my personal journey, as well as a journey for all of us at Archive Social to be a part of this community. We have been in 8 American Underground spaces. Yep. 2 in the tobacco campus, 6 in this building. And this is not real estate. This is not walls and carpet. We have something so special here. And so for all of you who are pretty new here, or you've been here for just a little bit, you're starting to get off the ground like we were just a few years ago, I'm going to ask you something. Do not take this for granted. This is an amazing, amazing thing that we have here in Durham. I want to thank Adam, Molly, and the rest of the team for everything you've done, because you have not built, again, real estate. You've built a true community for companies like us to be able to grow out. So thank you.
Thank you all. I'm going to come find you and give you all hugs. So you don't have to stay up for the rest of this, but congratulations. Thank you guys. Okay, so again, everybody aspires for the Order of the Bull. You get a pretty phenomenal horns up bull here. So, okay. Anil described it really well, which is that part of our aspiration and what the underground team works on is more than, obviously desks and chairs and things like that, but also this whole community. And we're fortunate to have some partners who drive that work with us. And at the top of the list is Fidelity Investments. I'm going to invite Duke Chang up here in just a second, who runs the Innovation Lab side of what Fidelity Investments does. He'll talk a little bit about his team, what they're doing. Before I do that, what you're going to go through is a condensed version of something that actually our whole underground staff has gone through and participated in. Design thinking is a way of sort of approaching problems through a unique lens and then developing some really interesting solutions out of it. And our team at the Underground have come out with 2 new initiatives as part of our work in going through the design thinking process with Fidelity. Many of you participated in that, contributed to some of the interviews with the Fidelity team. And so if you've been a part of the pop-up co-working initiative, that came out of this process in a way for us to really rally smaller pieces of the AU community together. And then the other is a new onboarding process. So how do we get new employees and new founders in the space together, understand the resources and benefits of the underground, and to meet each other for the first time. If you are new to the underground, I want to make a quick plug here. We are actually having our second onboarding event today at 3 o'clock in the training room upstairs. Please, you don't need to RSVP, you can come if you haven't signed up. We'd love for you to be there. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Duke, who's going to introduce this Design Thinking Challenge. Once again, congrats to Archive Social. Thanks, Sheldon.
Thanks, Alan. I'm going to go real fast here. First of all, it's great to be back here with everyone at HelpFest, doing another event here. We'd like to come here as often as we can. Today is going to be a little bit different than your typical HelpFest. We're going to do less talking and get you more active and engaged in a learning experience around design thinking. We've got a great team that'll come up and introduce themselves here in a second. You are going to experience design thinking as a practice in a very condensed version. So you're going to go in the next hour and a half experience something that may, if you use it and apply it to your businesses, may take days, weeks, months for you to fully do for a problem that you're working on. But we're just going to give you this really brief condensed version so you can get the basic principles of design thinking. Before we get kicked off, I just wanted to give one little bit of a shout out to something else that we're doing here in partnership with American Underground. Tomorrow evening from 5 to 7, we're going to do a little Pokemon event for all you Pokemon Go players out there. In the lab, we think this whole space around augmented reality and virtual reality is a really interesting technology space for innovation to explore. And so we just wanted to have a fun event to kind of get people out who might be players, who might be interested in this space, to learn a little bit more, do a little bit of research around what makes it so appealing. So tomorrow from 5 to 7, we're going to be down at the ATC campus. From 5 to 7 in Bay 7. We're going to light up all the lures at ATC so you can come catch as many Pokemon as you want. And we're also going to have some of our VR gear out there for you to try out, both the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive, which recently came out. So if you haven't checked out this VR stuff yet, come out from 5 to 7 and check it out. Have a little bit of fun with us. And another AU team is going to join us as well. NeuroPlus has some of their gear out there that they're going to demo as well. Try to get some feedback on their product. So it should be a fun event. Come out from 5 to 7 tomorrow. Hope to see you there. And turn it over to Sarah to kick us off.
Introduce myself. So I'm Sarah Coxtell, and this is Michelle Hess and Chris Clark. So Michelle and I are on the design thinking team at Fidelity, and Chris is a product manager. So we are here today, and we're going to teach you a little bit about design thinking. So you heard that it's a way to solve problems. So it's a human-centered approach to solve really ambiguous problems. So we're going to teach you a little bit about the process and the approach, and then we're going to ask you to dive in and just start doing it over the course of the next hour and a half. And as Duke mentioned, it's condensed, it's going to feel really fast, and you might feel rushed, but just lean into the process, lean into the discomfort. You guys are probably used to feeling a little uncomfortable as entrepreneurs, so this will be maybe not such a new experience for you. So the first principle of design thinking is to fall in love with the problem. So if you take nothing else away from today, take this away. Fall in love with the problem. And when we say fall in love with the problem, it should be a human-centered problem. When we go out and do research, the first step is to talk to our customers and understand what they're going through, to empathize with them, and then to define what their problems are so that when we solve them, we are solving actual human problems and not falling in love with the solution. So here are 6 of the mindsets that we follow in design thinking. I won't go through all of these, I'll just touch on a couple. So I talked about being human-centered. The second is radical collaboration. You guys are also probably used to that, but when you are talking with your customers, when you're developing prototypes, have them involved, have your customers involved all the way through the process. So today, you're going to partner up with somebody and you are going to solve a problem for them and focus on that person. You're not redesigning an experience or solving a problem for yourself. You're going to be redesigning an experience for your user or your partner. A culture of prototyping. So make stuff. So you guys see boxes all over the room in the space with random prototyping supplies. So those are meant for you to make your solution physical, so that you can put it in the hands of your customer, the person that you're building for, and get their feedback. And then another important one is, show, don't tell. So oftentimes we do find ourselves attached to whatever it is that we're making in some way, whether it's something that we've gone through before, or we just really love it a lot. But it's important to show them and get unbiased thoughts around what it is that you made, and don't try to sell it. Like, you're not a salesperson. Don't tell them every cool feature that you've built in. Test it with them and see if they can uncover some of those features. Some of the other ones are having a bias towards action. When you don't know what to do, just start doing something. Use your hands. Start building. Start drawing. Write thoughts down. And then the last one is just be mindful of what step of the process that you're in throughout. So this is the process. Empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So you guys are going to go through these 5 steps today when you're solving this problem that we give you in a few minutes. So this is just a slide to show you guys. So you're going to go through these 5 steps in a very linear way, but it doesn't have to be linear. When we use this technique at Fidelity, we often bounce back and forth between different phases in the process. We're not always following the process through. So if you take this back to your challenges that you're solving every day, just keep that in mind. All right, so that's all we're teaching you about design thinking. So next we are going to do a stoke, and a stoke is a way for you guys to warm up, to get in a certain mindset before you do something. So the analogy that we often use is it's like someone that's working out. They have to warm up before they sprint or before they lift weights. So this is sort of a warm-up to the day to get you in the right mindset. So we're going to play a stoke called Hunter, Bear, Ninja, and maybe Chris and Michelle can demo this out for us. So they're going to, it's similar to rock, paper, scissors. Okay, so we stand back to back, and we count to 3, and instead of rock, paper, scissors, it's Hunter, Bear, Ninja. And so Michelle and I are going to embody one of these characters, either the hunter, the bear, or the ninja. So the hunter kills bear, bear kills ninja, and ninja kills hunter. Okay? So we stand back to back, and we count to 3. And we'll embody. Okay, ready? 1. Oh wait, we didn't show them what they were.
Okay.
Yeah, wait. Okay, so what does hunter look like? Bear and ninja. And if you want to take it to another level, you can use sound effects like rah! Or ninja. Or hunter might be
Bam.
bam, yeah. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Rah!
Okay, Ty. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I kill you.
Okay, so that's sort of how you'll play, but then to add another level to it, it's going to be tournament style. So Michelle won that round, right? So it's first one that wins, and now I'm Michelle's biggest fan. So I cheer her on, and she has to find somebody else in the room that's also won to play again. So then she'll play that person, say it's Chris, and then whoever Chris played is going to be cheering Chris on. So say Michelle wins, then we're all going to be cheering Michelle on until eventually there's just one pair left and then one winner. And everyone will have picked one person to cheer on. Make sense? All right, so everybody get up and find a partner.